Welcome to the Coach Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Now, from Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville and powered by the 4G LTE network of Appalachian Wireless, here are East Kentucky Broadcasting's Andrew Joyce and UPike head basketball coach Kelly Wells.
Welcome in to Buffalo Wild Wings. It's home of the Kelly Wells Show as we talk UPike basketball every Tuesday night at this time. And we're joined by the head coach of the University of Pikeville Bears, 15-0. The Bears coming off a big win over Bluefield. And new rankings released by the NAI today. UPike now ranked number 6 in the nation. Coach Kelly Wells joins us now. We're coming off a couple of holidays since we were last here. Trust that you and the Bear family had a great Christmas holiday.
It really has been awesome. We gave the kids some time to go home, gave us an opportunity as a family to spend some significant time together and travel a little bit, and also kept some traditions, you know, Christmas at home every single time, every year in the morning. And
sure.
So a lot of great stuff, and just blessed beyond our deserving for sure.
Christmas holiday wraps up. The guys get to spend some time with family as well. You come back off the Christmas holiday, and you've got a test in Bluefield. Maybe some concerns. How do you bounce back off the holiday, some time off? You come out, you play well against Bluefield, and a great tune-up heading to conference time.
It really fell at a perfect time for us. We needed a challenge. Bluefield was 7-3 coming in, coming off a break. One thing I knew is our practice sessions coming into that game were great. We had 3 unbelievably energetic, focused practice sessions, and I think it really paid off for us. And we've really been trying to stress the kids, the better you practice, the better you're going to play. And it showed up for us, and that was a great real-life experience for them. And we were down one guy with Basile having the flu, and we fought through and filled his spot in. But the kids really prepared well, and it responded in great play.
Got to ask about the health of the rest of the team, because the flu is something that many teams in our area, from youth teams through cheerleaders and girls and boys high school teams, they've battled the flu as well. How's the team health-wise?
We've been fortunate. 3 guys have come down with the flu at different times, and we've sent them home and got them healed up and ready to rock and roll. Basile was the only non-local kid that couldn't go home and kind of get refreshed, and so we kind of just say stay away a little bit and wash your hands, drink a lot of fluids. We got him his medicine, and but he's back healthy now. We're all full steam ahead.
Full steam ahead, and brand new this evening for tonight's show. You're 8th in the country in the rankings back in December. New rankings released just before we went on the air. Number 6 in the nation. Georgetown hangs on to that top spot. They're still unbeaten. You're still unbeaten at number 6. Lindsey Wilson unbeaten. They're at number 8 in the national rankings. Your thoughts just briefly on these new ones?
Well, it certainly tells you how good our league is.
Yeah.
You know, there's 4 undefeated teams in NAIA, and 3 of them are sitting in the Mid-South Conference. So there's going to be a lot of work ahead, a lot of heavy lifting. But we also, you look at big picture, we had 6 teams in the top 30. I really believe we have 6 teams deserving of being in the top 25, and we just got to get the rest of the Raiders educated on how good our league is. But, you know, it's going to be tough every single night that we play, but certainly a great reward. We're making steady progress where we want to. I didn't expect us to be number 1 or number 2. I thought we would break that top 5 barrier being undefeated,
right,
and with our tradition. But we'll take that, and we'll just keep making steady progress. And if we take care of ourselves, all those jumps take care of themselves as well.
We'll talk more about those rankings and some other rankings that we mentioned during the news at the top. Some of the categories that the Bears are ranked in the top 10 nationally. I know you're proud of those numbers because they reflect the play of your team. First, let's look at some highlights. Let's take a look at what happened against Bluefield.
This is just being off to a great start, ready to play right away. We get the opening tip kicked out to Jordan Perry here, and he gets a nice little easy start. Anytime you score first, that's a great chance for you. Here is Darian Leslie with a great steal and gets out in front of everybody and gets us going with some highlights here, and certainly a highlight-making play, getting right into our defense right after that. And here's one of our set plays we have. Catch it on the elbow for Basile Thompson. He makes a great jab step, comes back to the middle of the floor with a little up and under. Kiss off the glass and gets the basket, which is great. Here's a nice alley-oop from George Johnson to Rodney Hawkins, rim running from north to south and getting where he wants to, and that's a great play for us. We need more of that out of Rodney and George as well. here's a nice rebound outlet pass. We practice this pass every single day in practice. We call it the Celtic Drill, so it's great to see it implemented here for Chase Parsley. And he didn't make such a highlight play, but certainly gets a great two-point conversion here. And this one really needs no commentary. Just watch this play. As a coach, that's a thing of beauty. Great unselfish play, just a beautiful thing to watch. And finish up here, Darrell Dominic and Arze run one of our set plays. Darrell sets a great screen for Arze coming, and he gets the slip to the rim off a good screen for a layup right in the basket against their zone defense. So great unselfish play by the Bears, and that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, and we saw that on more than one occasion there. Great unselfish play out of this U-Pike team. And, of course, now 15-0, conference play coming up. We want to talk more about that. One of the guys we saw in the highlights on deck coming up next, Mountain Guy, and super sophomore Jordan Perry is on his way.
Career high Jordan Perry from the other night.
Career high Jordan Perry. He's on the way next. It's the Kelly Wells Show presented by Appalachian Wireless. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville. It's home of the Kelly Wells Show. We talk U-Pike basketball every Tuesday night at this time. And as you can see, we've got the Bears in the house tonight. And time to step into the Bears Den. We'll be rejoined by Coach Kelly Wells in just a few moments. But in the Bears Den tonight, a mountain edition of the Bears Den. A couple of guys that played their high school basketball in the mountains, familiar faces to many basketball fans throughout the region. How about the career high? Coach Kelly Wells reminds me, Jordan Perry, sophomore out of Morgan County. Welcome to the Kelly Wells Show.
Thank you.
Let's talk about that first, career high. What's he referring to?
Last game against Bluefield, I had my career high of 25.
Blistered the nets. Blistered the nets. And that reminds me of some of the scoring efforts of Jordan Perry from his high school days. We'll talk about that, but first, let's talk about the student athlete, Jordan Perry. Let's talk about what your major is, what you plan to do in the future, Jordan.
I'm majoring in accounting and healthcare management right now, and in the future, I'm really don't know yet. Just have to see what happens.
Accounting, healthcare management. Where did that inspiration come from?
No, I've always liked numbers and math and stuff like that. And then I have a family member that works in the healthcare field, and I just figured that doing both, I have more opportunities to find a job later down the road.
Absolutely. Everybody's got to have healthcare.
Yeah, that's right.
Down the road, especially us old folks, so you can take care of us down the road. Jordan, we talk basketball, Morgan County. You had a great career there. Let's talk about the recruiting process. Morgan County to the University of Pikeville. Talk about that process. When did it begin? When were you approached by U-Pike? And talk about making that decision.
I believe I came to U-Pike's elite camp before my junior year, and after that they just kept in contact. And just my senior year, I decided I wanted to stay close to home, and so I chose U-Pike.
And, of course, you arrive on campus as a freshman. You had a tremendous freshman season at the University of Pikeville. It seemed, for those of us on the outside looking in, it was an easy process for you to make the transition from high school basketball to playing at the University of Pikeville. Now, Jordan Perry, was it an easy transition?
It wasn't too easy. I know it took me a little while to get adjusted to the speed of the game and the physicality. But I think about halfway through the year, a lot of stuff started clicking for me, and that's when I started playing a lot better.
Clicked for you indeed. Now, you've been through the Mid-South Conference and the grueling schedule that can be. You've been on the road facing these other Mid-South Conference teams, tremendous conference. You've got a lot of new guys on the team this year, guys that haven't been through a conference schedule. What do you tell them as you head into Mid-South Conference play?
It doesn't matter who we play, if we're on the road or home. We're going to have to play as hard as we can and just compete every play to win, because no games are easy.
Fans get a little rowdy on the road as well, don't
Yeah,
they?
they do, yeah.
Yeah, it seems that University of Pikeville, because of the reputation, because of the rich tradition, that you guys seem to have a bullseye on you every time out. Teams want to knock off U-Pike.
Yeah. It seems like the last few years, U-Pike's been ranked in the top 25, and it'd be a big win for their season if they could knock us down.
Fans ever given you personally a hard time?
A few games, but I don't let it get to me.
Do you even hear that when you're on the court?
Sometimes, but no, not for the most part, no.
Let's talk about something good from your basketball career, whether it be high school, grade school, growing up, whatever. Give us your best basketball memory.
Just probably last year when I got Freshman of the Year. It was just a big accomplishment for me, and it just showed all the hard work I put in through the season.
It's a great accomplishment from a conference such as the Mid-South Conference to win that honor. Now, let's go the other direction, because we've all had those. Any of us that have played sports, we've got that moment that sticks out like, man, if I just had that play or that moment over, it's the worst thing that's ever happened in my career. Tell us about it.
Probably last year in the LSUA game, the last minute and a half, I turned the ball over and they went down and scored, and ultimately went to overtime and we got beat.
Stuck with you.
Yeah, it has.
Stuck with you.
Yeah.
Hungry to avenge that
get
play.
Back, yeah.
There you go. Jordan Perry, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Good luck this weekend and the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Jordan Perry right there. He's out of Morgan County. Hey, we're staying in the mountains. Chase Parsley, redshirt sophomore out of Sheldon Clark, coming up next on the Kelly Wells Show. Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville. It's the Kelly Wells Show, where we take you inside Bears basketball every Tuesday at this time. And we continue in the Bears Den, another one of the members of the Mountain Squad here at the University of Pikeville. Tried and true mountain guy, Chase Parsley out of Sheldon Clark High School. You've seen him play growing up. And Chase, welcome to the Kelly Wells Show.
Thank you.
Great to have you here, but we're going to talk basketball. We'll take you back to your high school days and through your time here at the University of Pikeville. But first, let's talk about the student. What's your major and what do you plan to do in the future?
My major is sports management, and I plan to be an athletic director and coach.
Very good. A lot of the guys in sports, that's a dream of theirs, to be able to stay in the game once your playing days are over. Obviously, many of us that have ever played any sport whatsoever, you've had good coaches, you've had bad coaches. You may have had all good coaches, you may have had all great coaches. But someone was an influence that made you say, you know, when I'm finished playing, I want to be a coach. Do you have one of those basketball influences maybe that made you want to be a coach?
For sure. I'm probably Frankie Smith. He came my sophomore year, and he's influenced me a lot.
He's a tremendous basketball coach with a lot of tradition, well-respected coach. The difference in playing for Frankie Smith and Kelly Wells, what are they?
No, they're about the same. They have the same style of play, and they're two great coaches.
Like to get it up and down the floor.
For sure.
And you're a guy that handles the ball and likes to get up and down the floor, as we saw in tonight's highlights. How easy did that make the transition from high school basketball to college basketball?
It was kind of tough at first. I was smaller, so I had to get in the weight room, get stronger, and just the speed of the game was different.
For those that are tuned in that maybe are high school players, maybe middle school players now, how drastic is that speed difference?
Oh, it's huge. You know, I was one of the fastest guys in the mountains.
Right.
Fastest guy on the floor all the time, and it's a big difference.
How is it to make that transition, you being one of the fastest guys? You can outrun people. You can handle the basketball, get up and down the floor, and you realize that you had an advantage on those. Now every time you go out, you've got someone that is there on you, or you're trying to defend just as quick as Chase Parsley is. How tough is that? Not the physical part of the game necessarily, but the mental part.
It's tough. You just have to have small details down to point, you know, with the scout and things like that to be ready every night.
This team's 15-0, and you're getting ready to begin conference play. You've been through the Mid-South Conference. You know what it's like as this team moves forward. What have you seen in your team and your teammates and looking toward your goals? This team going to have a successful run through the conference?
Yeah, Coach Wills mentioned we've had, the last week been great in practice, and we're mentally focused, and I think we'll be ready for Saturday.
A lot of new guys on the team this year. How's chemistry? How do things come together in the locker room?
We're 15-0, so I think we're fine now.
You think
got that out of the way.
You're okay. If you're 7-8, 8-7, you might have to worry about that, but 15-0 helps out with that. Chase, I asked you a question that I asked Jordan Perry. You're one of those guys that has had a tremendous career in the midst of your college career, but you can go back to youth basketball, middle school, high school, whatever. Let's talk about Chase Parsley and your favorite or your most memorable basketball moment.
My senior year, halfway through the season, I broke my left ankle. Sit out 7 games, didn't cast it, but came back for the district and won the district championship. Had 32 nights in a row, back-to-back nights.
On a partly healed, broken ankle. That's a tough player. All right, we've all got those moments that stand out in time. Jordan Perry, he remembers a turnover, and he's ready to get back on that court and avenge that. Worst basketball moment?
My sophomore year, losing the 15th region championship game at the Expo.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking. Frankie Smith, you talk about an inspiration to be a coach, to go into coaching and what he did. Basketball influences. If you've got a great game, you're coming off a 30-point performance, and you step off the court, you go to the locker room, you celebrate with your teammates, and then you've got your phone. Who's the first phone call you make?
Probably my mom.
Yeah. Celebrates every victory with you?
For sure.
And losses.
Yes.
Consoles during those losses. We all have that same phone call, I believe. Chase Parsley, redshirt sophomore out of Sheldon Clark right there. You'll see him on the court this Saturday as the Bears are back in action at the Expo Center. Chase, congratulations on a great start to this season. Best of luck the rest of the way. Stay healthy, and let's get 30.
Thank you.
Chase Parsley right there on the Kelly Wells Show. When we come back, we'll be rejoined by Bears boss Kelly Wells, currently ranked 6th in the nation. We'll talk about that ranking and other top 10 rankings the Bears currently enjoy when the Kelly Wells Show returns after this, presented by Appalachian Wireless. Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings in Pikeville, the Kelly Wells Show, and the coach, Kelly Wells, rejoins us now. Coach, a couple of mountain guys that I know you're proud to have as part of this program, guys that were tremendous athletes in high school, wanted to stay home and fit into this program. They found their place, both players.
Yeah, no question. I'm very proud of those guys. Their families are very vocal at every game. It gives us an opportunity to have some of that karma in the crowd a little bit, and it's just neat to see the growth of those two guys too. Jordan, has been here 2 years. Chase now is starting his 3rd year as a redshirt sophomore, and just to watch their development and growth has been great. It's really ideal with the work ethic they put in, and we don't have two harder workers on our entire team. They're putting extra time in the summer times, and they just love it. They're junkies, and certainly that's what I am. It's what I was, and so I have a lot of respect for those two guys.
You gym rats hang out together, don't you?
We do, and there's just not as many of us out there as we would like.
Yeah, and as a coach and a coach who was a child of a coach, that gym rat comes naturally for you. But I would imagine that when you have players that adopt that philosophy and they want to be in the gym at all times working to improve their game, that takes on a special meaning for you, for those guys.
It does. To see kids understand the unrequired work part of what they do is really special, because this day and age, it's just kind of what have you handed to me. I'm willing to do what everybody else is doing.
Sure.
But trying to get them to buy into that unrequired segment of the work is amazing. And those guys do. We have other guys do as well, but certainly those two are leading the charge in regards to that.
And that's what makes a team 15-0, when you've got those guys, many guys.
Yeah, and you hope it's contagious.
Exactly. Contagious. Your team ranked 6th in the country. we mentioned those 6 teams in the conference that are in the top 30. Georgetown number 1, you're at number 6, Lindsay 8th, Campbellsville 15th, Cumberland's tied at the 24th spot, and then Life University receiving votes. You've got a tough run through the conference.
Yeah, there's no question. And any of those teams could be in the 6th spot. Any of those teams could be in the 1 spot, and vice versa.
Sure.
And there'll be some movements, a lot of movement going down as the season goes on. You know, Shawnee State's not in there, and Cumberland, Tennessee aren't in there, but they're both very talented teams who can win at a high level. So it's going to be very interesting. Having the conference tournament at home here in Pikeville is going to be awesome. To have such a great league right now, and women's side the same way, very competitive, a lot of great teams. So we're excited about everything that deals with the Mid-South Conference.
Does anyone run the table in the Mid-South this year?
If it is, I hope it's the Bears, but we've got a lot of work cut out for us. And we take every conference game as a one-game championship. Sure. We really don't try to look forward. We don't try to look behind. We really try to look at each game as a one-game championship and prepare all our chips for that game. And then we try to do it 15 more times.
Right.
So we have that approach no matter what we're doing, but certainly, hopefully, if there's one undefeated team, it's sitting right here behind me.
There you go. Coach, this week we catch wind of some national rankings from different statistical categories. We've got a list of those that we'll take a look at, and I know you're very proud that your team ranked in the top 10 nationally in categories, 17 categories in the top 10. Points per game allowed, field goal percentage defensively, number 1 in the country. Those are both defensive stats. A lot of these stats are defensive stats, and you've got some offensive stats as well. But rebounding, steals, defensive stats, they really stand out, and I know that those are some you're most proud of.
Oh, balance is beautiful. A lot of years we've had great offense or we've had great defense, but really combining all the pieces of the game together is where it's at. And you don't become a champion overnight, but certainly those are categories that give you opportunities. We've got great balance on our rebounding. We're really trying to get our assist game up a little bit higher. We're trying to get that to a 3-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. But offensively, we're very productive. Defensively, we're doing a great job as well. So very, very thankful. And how you doing? Very, very thankful for the guys' effort, and that means they're listening to us in practice and carrying it over to the games.
And it was evident in the Bluefield highlights. Great passing, great ball movement, maybe an extra pass, and that's, as a coach, I know that's one of the things you preach. One extra pass.
Well, we really spend a lot of time talking about sharing is caring, and certainly getting that level. There's enough on the plate for everybody to eat if we share. Now, if everybody gets selfish, then that takes away opportunities for everybody. But this team is very unselfish, and they've got to continue to grow in that. And I'm very anxious to see how we do once the competition amps up, the pressure amps up. But we're going to rely on our preparation because these guys have really worked hard to prepare.
Shawnee State Saturday at the Expo, 4 p.m. tip-off. Best of luck.
Yeah, women at 2, men at 4. It's going to be a great atmosphere, great games. We'd love to see a lot of people come out for opening game in the Mid-South Conference.
That's Kelly Wells, and that will do it for this edition of the Kelly Wells Show. It's presented by Appalachian Wireless. Thanks to the coach Kelly Wells, Chase Parsley, Jordan Perry, and Go Bears.
This has been the Coach Kelly Wells Show, presented by Appalachian Wireless.